Alright, so finally getting to the floor of my van. I got the 100 mil, so it's KILMAT Extra, and I decided to go with the thickest stuff. It costs a little bit more money. I needed a total of like 55 square feet inside the floor area, not including the wheel wells. I ended up getting 75 square feet, but I'm going to do the entire floor. I'll make it quick. Comes like this. It's nice and thick. I'm glad I got this. I ended up getting the rollers. I decided to just do it right and get it. It was an extra like 18 bucks or something like that. So total 100 mil KILMAT Extra, 75 square feet plus this. I think with delivery I paid like 220, 200 and a quarter, something like that. So it goes like that. Show you when I'm part way through. Alright, so it's been a couple of days. Thanksgiving. I hope everyone had a happy Thanksgiving. Good times. I only ended up getting about 14 of these put in. I'm super glad I ended up getting these with the kit. Is this overkill? Perhaps. I've been watching this one guy from the UK. His name is Greg. He's a thermal engineer doing a build out in a van, and so one of the other things I could have used in place of this is a closed cell like rubber foam. I'll put up a link to him. He's got some really good explanations on his page about the thermal barrier between the outside metal of your van and the inside, with how much insulation you need and such, and he lays it out perfect. It's like a 20-minute video, and if you got the time, go watch it. However, I'm in a unique situation, and I'm not in the UK. I'm in Arizona. It's dry. I'm not really as concerned with moisture and humidity as most van builders. So the reason I'm using the KILMAT is because I've been here in Arizona since the early 80s, and I've seen my fair share of what the sun can do to the interior of vehicles in the sun.
Got a lot to lose when the bottom of your shoes smell stew to your sock in the parking lot.
I mean, auto manufacturers started with, design. If you were buying a vehicle out of the Southwest, you were getting some hybrid type materials. Like they upgraded the steering wheel materials, the dash materials, so they didn't crack. I'm thinking with KILMAT, and hence the title of the video, maybe perhaps, is it overkill? Yes, perhaps it is. Perhaps. But the butyl tape on the back side of this is what I'm most interested in. I have a pristine floor in the interior of my van. So yeah, what I'm hoping the KILMAT, the butyl on the KILMAT is going to do is it's going to completely seal the floor. Now, I thought about using like a Raptor liner, but I wanted some more than just that. I wanted some insulating factor to it, and I am going to do some more insulating on it, you'll see. But my whole thing is I don't want an extra 1.5 inches of material on the floor between insulation and plywood. When this van gets into the hot temperatures for a couple, a few trips down into the valley during 115 degree days, all this is just gonna get all nice and just gooed in.
Bottom of your shoes, smell stew to your sock in the parking lot.
And permanent protection on this floor. As far as this, my intention wasn't for the sound deadening quality. It was more for the protection of the floor and the butyl protection. I mean, this took me 2 hours. My wrists are sore, and I'm going to keep going at it, and I'll catch up with you when I get further along. For those of you new to the channel, this was a government van. All the work in here, I bought it this way. It's like eighth inch aluminum sheeting that's riveted directly to the ribs of the van. And behind that, they spray foamed. Did a good job at it. I'm working with what I got, and I didn't have to worry about spray foam insulation on the walls. The ceiling maximized the width, interior width and height of my van. So directly to the ceiling, I have an 1/8 inch, and I'm right there on the rib. On the walls, 1/8 inch, and I'm right there on the rib. Probably an extra inch on the ceiling between batting and, you know, if you do tongue and groove or whatever, or paneling. It's probably gonna stink for a good couple times when it heats up. Hopefully I'll have the whole floor in by that point. That won't be till next summer. Yeah, I should have this all built out here soon, so. Easy peasy, but it does a number on your wrists. This stuff can cut. Gaff tape. Good to go. Careful, this stuff can cut. Fail. Too salty. It was oat mash and some other stuff. Alright, quick little update. This is 50 square feet of KILMAT. I still need to roll some of it out. I've got 25 more square feet left. As you can see, I got the wheel wells left to do. A little bit over there, a little bit right there. I'm gonna do away with this and bring the floor right up close to the door here. And yeah, so I got a little bit of work left to do. There's a couple things that I want to do. I'm gonna pull those off. Although I do like the idea, I need to see what's going on. I don't know what that was for. I think it was just a bumper from the cabinetry they had there, but so I'm gonna check that out real quick. But yeah, pull off the rubber around that, and so that's where I'm at. This is like day 3. It's rough on the wrists. All right, we're gonna pull these off and see what's going on, and I want to get the KILMAT up underneath that anyway, and I get to see how good of a spray foam job they did on this section of the van. So here we go. Moving on, we're going to remove this one and this lower piece there, and also I don't know why this is here, so I'm going to take this off and look and we'll see what's going on. Oh, that's why. So this side you can really see a little bit better on how well they did this and what they did. So it is pretty thick. It thins out in areas down in here. So what they did over here was they kicked out the framing here instead of cutting it out. Got a jet flying overhead. While I'm making a mess, I might as well take this off. It's got to come off anyway. That's where all the wiring is I need to take out, and wiring I'm probably going to end up putting back in. So it's got to come out. Making a mess now. I'm going to do it. Hey! Okay, it is everything I expected it to be. See, that's some spray foam overlap right here. I really wish I had some access up in here, but we'll see. And I might as well pull these off too. If I'm going to be making a mess, I might as well do it now. There it is. What we got going on. It's about what I expected. It's a little tight right here. It's interesting how it comes. They brought it away from the wall. How they brought it away from the wall. See here, this difference here, and this difference here. So that's a full almost 2 inches right there. That's a lot of space back in there. When you look at it from a interior cubic space, I mean, I could build, that's going to be my tech wall over there. Is going to be my tech wall. So it'd be really nice to have that additional 2-inch depth in the build. I have some thinking to do. The other thing I'm going to do in this part of the project is I'm going to trim the top of this. Okay, now I need to trim this up right here. It's on this passenger side wheel well. See how tight this is? Like that. So that's probably giving me a bunch of noise when I'm hitting bumps and stuff. Throw a little piece of this right here. Put it on that. Alright, so I've come to the point where I need to deal with this area here. And I'm just going to pull this off, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it here, all along right here, all along to the rear on this side, but then on the front here I'm going to bring it up and over and trim it off right here in this area right here, so that it continues to match what the front of the cab is doing. And the reason for this is I'm on my floating subfloor. On the floating subfloor, this will create a lip because I'm only going to do very minimal insulation, which I'll get into right after this, on the floor. And I don't plan on doing any bolting of the floor through the bed of the van, through the floor of the van, and I'll get into that in future episodes. And So let's get to it. I'm gonna pull this out and then I'm gonna cut and we'll get on it. And as you can see, mine is very nice, very clean. Okay, as you can see, it fits good, and the transition here, I like that. Okay, this is my last square foot, 75th square foot right here. I ended up doing the entire floor. There was a couple little sections I still have to patch in a section, but the wheel wells got about 1.5 coverage. So the wheel wells took 5 square feet the way I did it. You could have done another couple square foot and got full coverage on it. The only thing I have left to do now is I have to finish rolling it out with the roller. I want to make sure I do this so that when later, like next summer, when I'm working in the Phoenix area and it's really, really hot, that I know that this is bonding really, really good to the steel. The main reason I did this, I'll say it again, is a permanent protection on the steel. The side benefit for me is the sound deadening component with a little bit of insulation. It doesn't really insulate that much, but next, I'm going to save it for the next video, but next I'm going to take I know there's a bit like there's better products I could have used, but this was easily available for me. It's 1/2 inch foam with aluminum seal on the one side. I bought it in a 4x8 sheet for like $11. I have credit at Home Depot, credit card, so that's primarily why. I take that foam and I'm going to put it in between the slats like this and then foil tape over that. So this will be, the floor will be sealed, completely sealed. And then I picked up on a show this really big piece of cheap, very pliable linoleum, and I'm going to use that so I can get one big, huge, complete template. I got to use it before I can finish the floor, so it's also going to protect and it's not going to damage the foil side of the KILMAT. I'm getting ready to go on a 7-day show, and I got a bit of work left to do before I can cut in the wood. We'll see how it goes. If I can get this all rolled out, my wrists are already sore thinking about it. Yeah, so the idea is to just float the wood. I'm not going to secure it through the van floor. You'll see why later on as I get into the build. And this will give me enough float where once I got weight and compression on it, it's just barely going to touch the top of the ribs. Yeah, that's where I'm at. And next step after this is getting the floor put in and then off to the races. I know there's 100 different ways you can do this. This is the way I'm doing it. I'm always interested in other people's ideas, so if you want to chime in a comment or a suggestion or how whatever, feel free, hit the like and subscribe button. I appreciate it. All right, here we go. So this isn't what I'm going to be using permanently. It's just because I need to go work on a show and I want to keep this protected for now because I got to put a bed on it. So. This is going to make a really good template.